Karla, and welcome to my art channel, Karla K Art. This channel is all about my art, and today I'm doing a Dutch pour. This is where you dilute the paints with a leveling agent, and then you apply them to the canvas, in this case, and then I'm going to be using a hairdryer and a heat gun and gravity in order to manipulate those paints around the surface. So, I'm new to this whole Dutch pour liquid acrylics bit, and I am loving every minute of it. I'm learning tons every time I do a piece. I've literally only done a couple of dozen pieces of these, and I just decided to do some YouTube videos because I was getting so many questions about them from people that were visiting my studio. My studio is here in Arlington, Washington. I'm about an hour north of Seattle, and it's open by appointment. Because of COVID, I'm only really seeing one person at a time. But if you are interested in touring my studio, you can look me up, karlakart.com, or message me, or email me, karlakart@gmail.com, and we can arrange a studio tour. So earlier this morning, I did one from left to right, and so this one I'm going to do right to left, so that if someone hangs it on their wall, it will either make a mountain shape or it will make a V shape, depending on how they want it, if they buy the two of them together. And really, I think these things go well when you stick a couple of them next to each other. My table wasn't really big enough to accommodate both of them at the same time, and I was worried about drying times and the hairdryer and stuff if I did two at the same time this size. So I'm just doing one at a time. So again, this is my second one. I did one earlier this morning. And I'm sticking to 3 shades of blue, and the blue here is the phthalo blue by Liquitex. The turquoise is by American Loft. The silver is by American Loft, and the white was also by American Loft. You can use any type of any type of acrylic paints you want to use. These are just colors that I already had in my studio, and so I'm using them up in this process. So you dilute them up so they're very liquidy, and you have to stir them all the time to make sure that the color remains in the paint, because it is quite thin. I'm actually going to go this way, and you can put it on the paints on the canvas any way you want. Keep in mind that you're going to be using a blow dryer to blow dry them out, so you kind of go towards the corner, but if you get too close to the corner, you're just going to blow it all off the canvas. And you don't want to waste paint, or at least I don't want to waste paint. So here's the turquoise, and I'm going to kind of go over the top. And there are all different ways of doing this, and some of these techniques actually have names, and I'm so new to this process, I don't even know what those names are. I'm just learning. So here's some silver. I've got some dots over here, that's okay. Going right over the top. Now, when I first started watching videos of these on YouTube myself to learn how to do it, I saw lots of people doing this little stripe on the outside, which I sometimes do and sometimes don't. I did do it on the last piece, and I'm going to do it on this piece to be consistent. And that just helps the paint spread, because we're going to be using a blow dryer to blow this paint out into different directions. Now, you can use a hairdryer with or without the tip on it. Each has its advantages, and then you can also, of course, block some of the airflow to target it out one side or the other. Do be careful when you do that. Well, you'll notice your hand's going to get really hot, and you can't overheat the hairdryer, so my goal here is not to start a fire. And I tried to keep this really clean, and that lasted all of about 10 seconds before it got all gross. And then I tried to clean it off after the first time I used it, and it didn't really clean off. So this is now a studio hairdryer for sure. And I just bought the hairdryer off Amazon. It's a Remington one. It just happened to be the cheapest one with a spout. I think it was $16 or $17. And I'm not sponsored by anybody yet. I'm still new. Maybe hopefully one day I do get sponsored, but at this point, I'm just being transparent of where I get stuff. And I got all the paints at Michael's. I might have ordered one online from Amazon, but Michael's is usually where I get my paints. Michael's craft stores. So I'm going to go ahead and blow this out, and I do blow it on hot because the hot air seems to react with the paint to create what they call cells, these little circles in the paint that make them look like you're looking through a microscope, and it creates really neat effects. Just start by blowing it. And these circles are what I'm talking about when I say cells. You don't really want to blow back across another place because these cells, once they're formed, you're likely not going to get them again if you blow too much. The second thing is you can blow as long as you want. I kind of want to push the paint out to cover the whole area, but I'm not being obsessive about it. It doesn't have to reach every single edge. Sometimes using the hairdryer this way is easier, and you want to make sure your cord doesn't drag in your paint. Now, less is really more when it comes to this art form. If you start blowing it around too much, it's going to just kind of create all one color because they're all going to blow together. So you kind of have to use some caution and slow down a little bit when you're doing this. There's some places that I don't overly enjoy. I'm going to try and add more, but I don't want to blow any extra that I don't have. Like that. It is just beautiful. I love the way some of these cells are starting to open up. Now, some people, when they're doing this art form, they're trying to make the whole top smooth, and I'm not as particular about that. Like, this is probably going to create a little bit of a bump there, but I'm okay with that. I'm letting some of these things happen. So now I'm going to go over it with a heat gun. Some people are using little creme de brulee flame thingies. I'm always cautious whenever I'm using any type of flammable liquid, so I prefer the heat gun because it's a one-stop shop here. I turn it on and it works. But I'm going to go over and try and open up some more of these circles. Not everybody likes the circles, but I'm just beginning, so I like to push the medium and see what I can get out of it. You want to be careful when you're using the heat gun because it's easy to burn the paint, and that's not what I want to do. When you heat it up, the paint up, it becomes more liquidy. It moves a lot freer. Which, if you think about it, is probably how it gets rid of all of the air bubbles. But you notice I didn't keep it sitting anywhere for long. And you can also use gravity a little bit. So I can do this to push it that way. And of course on these gallery wraps, it's 1.5 inches deep. You really don't want to put, you want to leave the sides with the paint as it dribbles over, because that will be shown. These types of paintings are not meant to have any frame put on them. Okay, I lied, that is going to bug me. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more white on there. Now this paint, because of the leveling agent in it, is supposed to level out. So we shouldn't be able to see that. It should all just level out and it should all be gone. But I have some other bumps over here that are from the bigger paint hanging out, and those types of waves don't really bug me. And they will continue to level out over time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this, you want to make sure your piece is raised up, so I have thumbtacks on the bottom, and then you want to make sure it's level. And pieces that are actually sitting on this particular table lean a little bit that direction because this table isn't level. So the place that I'm going to go put it to dry is totally level. And I'm making that distinction because when I initially did these, I had them level on this paint surface, and then I was having them dry in another surface that ended up being unlevel because I couldn't retest it because there was wet paint on it. So I test it now where I'm going to have it dry. So if you like this video, press the thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, press subscribe, and it's free and you can get notifications about when I put out new videos. And if you press the down arrow on the left hand side, you can get more information about me, links to my website and things like that. So until next time, I will be in the art studio, and again, this is Karla K Art. Bye for now. So these are the two finished pieces. They're still wet, they have not dried. Because of the thickness of the paint, these take a few days to dry, or at least they do in my art studio. My art studio isn't fully insulated yet, so it's cold at night and then warm in the day. These are gallery wrap canvases, so they're 1.5 inches thick. And when these are all dry, what I will do is I will take them and put them, I will put resin on top of them so they'll have a glass-like finish. And then they're ready to be hung and on the wall. They're just beautiful pieces. See if I can stand back. You're getting a third piece there that wasn't in the video, but the two bottom pieces were. Hope you're enjoying your day.